Captain's log, stardate 69.69. Nice. We're headed to Riser for much-needed R&R with those hot Orion chicks. But Bob, being a party pooper, brought me a weird-ass data pad instead. Thanks, Bob. There's some more essential tips, I guess, until the summer event arrives.
Alrighty, Captains, the first video absolutely took off, so today we are doubling down with 5 more essential veteran tips for beginners. Starting off with a system that most old school players will tell you is dead and needs an overhaul: research and development. At first glance, the R&D crafting window looks like a dated mobile game menu. But here's what the game doesn't tell you. The second your captain hits level 15, this system opens up a massive pipeline of power and wealth. First off, you immediately get 20 free R&D crafters added directly to your roster to run assignments automatically in the background. Why do we care? Because hitting level 15 in specific R&D schools unlocks some of the most essential space traits in the entire game. If you are running an exotic or science build, you have to level the science school for particle manipulator, which grants you up to a massive 25% critical chance and crit severity with your science powers. Running torpedoes, you need projectiles for kinetic precision to bypass enemy shields. But it gets better. Just like we talked about in the last video, you can use your lower level slots to churn out data pads to craft manuals, drop them straight onto the exchange, and pull in continuous easy energy credits. Set your projects, let your crafters run, and go get that passive power and money. Moving on to tip number 2, adjusting your ship's power levels. The game starts every captain out with their subsystems completely flatlined at 50 power across the board. If you leave it like this, you are actively choking your build. You need to adjust these sliders or presets based entirely on how you choose to build your ship. Let's break down what these actual sliders do. Shield power directly impacts your shield hardness and shield regen rate, helping to negate incoming damage before it touches your hull. Engine power dictates your base flight speed and turn rate, crucial for mobility and staying alive. And auxiliary power? This is the holy grail for space magic, directly scaling your healing potency and the raw damage of your exotic science abilities. Because of this, you want to tailor your power to your playstyle. If you're running a standard beam array or cannon build, you want to slam weapons power to the maximum because it directly scales your directed energy weapon damage. If you're leaning heavily into space wizardry, you'll want to starve your weapons to flood your auxiliary power to make those science anomalies hit like absolute trucks. So adjust your power levels for your build. Alright, tip number 3 is all about preparing for the future and fast tracking your next character. If you're like most players, the second you claim a reward box from your daily endeavors or an event, you open it immediately on whatever character you're playing. Stop doing that. Start stacking your boxes and utilizing the single most powerful tool for an alt-heavy account, your account shared bank. See, a massive portion of the reward boxes you earn in this game, specifically Endeavor boxes, Specialized Duty Officer packs, and Universal Gear, are completely bound to your account, not the individual character. By walking up to any bank terminal and dropping these unopened boxes into your shared account slots, you are essentially building a wealth time capsule for your future characters. And timing is absolutely everything right now. The official roadmap recently dropped for 2026, and it confirms a Delta recruitment event is returning to PC next month. You're going to want to roll a brand new Starfleet, Klingon, and Romulan recruit to unlock these massive permanent account-wide perks. Leveling a fresh character from absolute scratch can feel like a chore, unless of course you are prepared. Imagine logging into your brand new Delta recruit the second they finish the tutorial, hitting the bank, and immediately unlocking dozens of high-tier Endeavor boxes. You instantly flood a low-level character with energy credits, marks, dilithium, crafting materials, and bonus XP to instantly bypass the early game friction. Don't open them now, save them for next month's recruits. Tip number 4 tackles a long-time debate in the community: the rainbow boat versus all weapons. Now, if you log into the game and see a ship firing a kaleidoscope of phasers, disruptors, and plasma beams all at once, your first instinct might be to think their build is broken or it's awesome. But with modern traits like twinkling lights, running mixed weapon types is actually completely viable and a ton of fun if you build your entire ship around it. However, here's the catch. If you don't have access to those specific high-end traits, or you just don't want to play that way, mixing and matching your damage types without a plan will tank your DPS. To get maximum performance without breaking the bank, you need absolute synergy between your weapons and your consoles. Take a look at this standard setup. If you run tactical consoles that offer a flat boost to all torpedo damage, it's decent, but watch what happens when you switch those out for consoles that specifically target quantum damage. If your front array is loaded with quantum torpedoes like mine, matching the exact flavor type of the weapon to the console sends the raw damage numbers on the tooltip skyrocketing. The takeaway here is simple. Unless you have a specific master level trait that rewards you for putting on a rainbow light show, pick a damage type and marry it. If you run phaser banks, fill your slots with phaser damaging consoles. If you're hunting with quantum projectiles, stack quantum boosters, and so on. Build for synergy and you'll melt through endgame content with ease. To wrap up today's video, tip number 5 is our essential pre-flight checklist. Star Trek Online has a lot of charm, but its default settings are incredibly clunky. The very first thing you need to do is open up your options menu under basic and turn on auto loop. Stop forcing yourself to click a confirmation window every time an enemy drops a piece of gear in space. Next, scroll down and disable mission auto hails, while simultaneously going to the controls tab, enabling keep flying continuously when hailed. There is nothing worse than being in the absolute zone during a space battle, only for a random NPC to pop up on your screen, freeze your ship dead, and get you instantly blown up while you're trying to click through dialogue. While you're in there, back on the Basics tab, adjust your interface size if your HUD feels way too crowded. Unfortunately, console, you can't do this. It does bite. And if you hate having your screen covered in a massive chaotic mountain of numbers during combat, you can completely turn off your damage floaters right in the settings to give yourself a gorgeous cinematic view of the battlefield instead. There are dozens of toggles in these menus, like setting your camera to free movement or tweaking keybinds, and perhaps we'll cover more of these in depth in a future video, but for now, take 5 to 10 minutes to poke around and tweak things to your exact liking along the way. And be sure to save your UI at the bottom when you are finished so you can load this UI on your other characters. If these tips saved you some headache, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment below on what tips have helped you in your STO career. And until next time, I'm Captn Spicy Pants, and I'll see you on the frontier.